Welcome everybody. This is UK National Master Cengiz Hasman here in Cyprus. Today I'm actually at a different venue, not at home. I'm at Silver Knight Chess Club in Kyrenia, and I will be analysing my game against Grandmaster Simon Williams, also known as the famous Ginger GM. In the game I played in the Title Tuesday tournament, so it was a Blitz game, not a classical game. And the title is Will I Lose to Ginger GM Again? So I was white, Simon was black, and as you may have assumed, I've played him quite a few times and unfortunately lost. So I had another chance to try and rectify things. So let's start. So I played d4. My opponent played e6, inviting me into a French defense, which I do know he does play the French defense, and I'm not an e4 player. So I wasn't going to fall for that. So we now have the Dutch defense, classical variation, and I fianchetto my kingside bishop, which is the most popular idea really against the Dutch. And I do remember a game by Simon Williams. He'd beaten, I think it was Radoslav Wojciech, a grandmaster, very strong grandmaster from Poland in this variation as black. So with a kingside attack, so I knew I had to be careful. That was a classical game, I believe. And I go for this rook b1, trying to expand on the queen side, and my opponent's bringing his queen over to the king side quite swiftly. I'm trying to go for this e4 idea. I'm trying to make it work. He also has moves like knight b4 ideas, and now we get e5. I could have played d5 if I wanted, but I decided I'd exchange and go for e4, which unfortunately wasn't a good move on my part. My opponent should have played fe4, bishop f5, knight d4, and we get some very good play and the superior position, basically. The rook and bishop are still not developed, and he's got a very powerful knight on d4, and all these pieces are coming into play. I mean, this is a technically lost position for white. However, my opponent played queen h5, letting me off the hook, and he did let me off the hook a few times, to be honest, in this game. I go for some exchanges, try to take this d2, this e4 pawn, and here comes this bishop h3, trying to exchange my only defender, or rather looks a defender but not really effective one at the moment. And he's got these knights and queen. So I take, he now goes for knight g4. Idea is very simple but effective. Bishop takes g2 if it was his move, king g2 and queen h2. So suppose I played, I don't know, a move like this, we're just going to run into this. So I did see that, and I played the nice defensive f3 move. If I just go back to e4, Houdini does like knight d5 or knight b5, like knight in this position, but unfortunately I didn't play it. play them. So we get these exchanges, and the pressure is reducing on me, and I exchange that to, I've now weathered the storm, to be honest, and now I finally develop that bishop, releasing the rook 2, so the rook's ready to come into play. Knight f5, attacking my bishop, but I attack his rook, and he does allow me to take his rook, but he's got knight e3 ideas, forking. I decide to just put this rook onto the d file because it's the only open file. I want to fight for it, and he wants to fight for it too. He moves the rook, which is under attack. I improve the position of my queen. Let's not forget it's a 3-minute game, 3 minutes plus 1 second, so the quality isn't what it should be. Both mistakes from both sides. It is quite normal, to be honest. And then trying to restrict my bishop. He's got a nice outpost for the knight. But I want to use an outpost myself. If he does take, I make a passed pawn, which could create problems for him. He's having none of that. He attacks this nice rook, so I exchange and play f4, trying to open the position because the position remains blocked. His knight's going to be superior to my bishop. So I wanted to open the position so I can use the strength of my bishop on f2. And here I am making an inaccurate move. I take on e5, which is not good because I help improve my opponent's knight. This knight becomes very strong, and the bishop is still not effective enough. He comes to an exchange. This would be, I believe, a winning endgame for my opponent if I exchange queens, so I don't want to do that. And I pick up a pawn. He can take a pawn, but he goes for the check, and very dangerous really for me. Discovered attack as soon as he moves the knight, mating ideas. He plays knight e5, which is actually inaccurate. The computer says there's a mate in 4, starting with knight d2, forced move, queen b1. Well, I have to cover with bishop e1. If I just go up here, it's mate in 3. So this would have been checkmate for my opponent. But I was lucky in this game. I'm not going to lie about it. Sometimes you do need luck because you can play a really good game, make one mistake and lose, because chess is merciless really. So sometimes you do need a bit of luck when your opponent doesn't see the moves. And I do go 2 pawns up here, but this bishop is really passive. I've got a passed pawn here, and then my opponent just decides to go for a perpetual, and I mean, I was happy with the result. This led me to have a good tournament. I did go on to beat Katarina Lagmore, world number 5 for the women in this tournament. So thank you very much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Bye bye.